Welcome back to the Crypto World channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and in this video, Bitcoin had the breakout that I predicted in my last video on the channel. Just yesterday on the channel, I filmed my last video at around here, and I said that a Bitcoin breakout is imminent, and I said it's much more likely to break to the downside, and so far that's exactly what's happened once again. And I also said in my last video, if you don't believe me, seriously, go check out my last video. I said that Bitcoin will be coming down to this yellow line just here, and I said that we'll be getting support coming in at this line, and I kid you not, Bitcoin came down exactly to this yellow line to the dollar. And yeah, in just a moment, now that Bitcoin has met my price target, I'm about to tell you exactly what my next Bitcoin price targets are, so make sure you're sticking around for that. And also towards the end of the video, I will be adding Ethereum to my video as always and sharing my Ethereum price targets in the short term. And also I've got some more big news I want to share with you guys during this video, so make sure you're sticking around for that throughout this video. But yeah, if all of that sounds good to you, then please make sure to leave a like on the video down below. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you don't miss any of my future videos. I put many hours of my time each day to make these videos for you guys to try and help you make money in crypto. And so yeah, if you could just spend a couple seconds to scroll down and click like and subscribe, it seriously means a lot and it helps out the channel so much. But yeah, with all of that out of the way, let's get straight into what this video is about. So right here, we're on the Bitcoin chart. We're on the Bitcoin 1 hour chart. And yeah, once again, as I just mentioned, I recorded my video just yesterday at around here. And I said in my last video that a Bitcoin breakout is imminent and we're much more likely to break to the downside. And obviously we got that initial break to the downside followed by a retest of that line of support, which confirmed it as resistance. And that was the retest that we were looking for to confirm that the breakout was real. We also got some big volume spikes come in, as you can see, that exceeded previous levels of volume. So that's basically a double confirmation that this breakout is real. And once again, we came down to this first level of support exactly as I said we would in my last video. And yeah, this level of support is coming in at exactly 43,767. But I'm pretty sure in my last video, I just said about 43.8K is what that level of support is pretty much coming in at. Now, just quickly zooming out to the 4 hour chart, as you can see here, we're already showing up a little bit of a green candle at the moment. I'd like to see a few more green candles to the upside to kind of confirm that this bounce is a real bounce. And the reason why I zoomed out to the 4 hour chart in particular is so I could zoom a bit further out just here and draw out the big Fibonacci retracement tool all the way from this low at about 29,000 to the all-time high at about 58,000. And the reason why I'm doing this is because this is actually how I originally got to that line of support on the chart at around 43,800 US dollars once again. This yellow line that I mapped out on the chart, and I've had mapped out on the chart for quite a few days now, this line is the 50% Fibonacci level on the Fibonacci retracement tool. And we also saw some supports coming in at this exact level just here, as you can see. So yeah, once again, this 43.8K level is a pretty significant level for Bitcoin in the short term. And it's important that we hold above that level in order for us to remain bullish. If we break below that level, the immediate next level of support, as you can see, I'll just get rid of the Fibonacci tool, is this blue line that I've just got on the chart. As you can see here, this is the $42,000 level. And that level's important because if I zoom out once again, this was the previous all-time high for Bitcoin as it set that all-time high at the beginning of January. Bitcoin obviously ran up to 42K, got a rejection at that level, and we entered pretty much a 1 month correction throughout the month of January. So yeah, anytime you break above previous resistance, it flips support. So yeah, once again, if we break below that yellow line coming in at 43.8K, the next big line of support is coming in at 42,000. And below that blue line coming in at 42K, the final line of support for the bulls to hold is this red line just here. I've mapped this out on the chart for the last couple days once again, and this is coming in at around 40,700 US dollars. And to show you how I actually got that price, once again, I'll zoom out and pull out the Fibonacci retracement tool. As you can see here, just drawing the Fibonacci retracement from the 29K low up to the all-time high at 58K once again. Obviously, we have that 50% retracement level at the yellow line, but the next most important Fibonacci retracement level is the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement level, and that's coming in at the red line just here, once again at 40,700 US dollars. So that 40.7K level, once again, is incredibly important for Bitcoin to hold if we fail to hold all of these other levels of support. So just quickly zooming back into the 1 hour chart, as you can see, so once again, this yellow line that I've got on the chart, that Fibonacci line of support, is so far working perfectly, but at the moment, the trend is technically still to the downside. So I thought it's obviously important that we do discuss some lower price levels that could hold as support. Just in the scenario that this yellow line doesn't end up holding, these three exact lines of support are my next three price targets. If the support above each line doesn't end up holding, then yeah, once again, we'll just be dropping down to the next level. So honestly, I actually accumulated some Bitcoin right at this level, at the exact low. And honestly, if Bitcoin drops lower, then I'll be accumulating again at this blue line and once again at this red line. So those are all of my exact price targets for Bitcoin to the downside. And now as for my upside targets, honestly, I don't really have any immediate upside targets because we aren't really in a pattern at the moment in the short term. If I just zoom out to the 2-hour chart, as you can see here, there is a price pattern beginning to form in the Bitcoin chart. This is more a mid-term price pattern, so that's why I didn't really include it in just a short-term analysis. But as you can see here, obviously over the past few days, pretty much over the past week, we have been seeing lower highs on the chart. And yeah, this has been pretty consistent. Each time that Bitcoin has come into contact with this lower trend line, we have seen a rejection all three times off this line of resistance. And yeah, if I just quickly map out where we've actually been getting support, as you can see here, Bitcoin is forming this massive falling wedge pattern. And this type of pattern is indeed a bullish pattern. So we're more likely to actually break to the upside than we are to break to the downside out of this pattern. So this is definitely something to pay attention to over the next couple days. The line of support for this pattern is pretty much coming in at that Fibonacci line that I've got on the chart already, that yellow line coming in at around 43,700, around 43.8k. So that's kind of the line of support that we have to hold to remain in this pattern. And the line of resistance currently coming in above the price is coming in at around 46,000 US dollars. If Bitcoin breaks above 46k with some big volume on the chart, then that's how you know we're beginning to break out of this downtrend for the Bitcoin price. And that would be some really bullish news for Bitcoin, especially in the next few weeks. It will set the bullish trend for Bitcoin over the next few weeks. And yeah, just drawing out the Fibonacci retracement tool from the all-time high at about 58k down to this recent low that we've just had here. As you can see, the 50% retracement level is currently coming in at this exact blue line that I've already mapped out on the chart. So this blue line that once again I've already mapped out on the chart is going to provide some big resistance for the Bitcoin price if we do break to the upside out of this pattern. So this blue line is currently coming in at about 51,200 US dollars per Bitcoin. And once again, that is a Fibonacci level on the chart. And it's also coming in confluence with these highs that we had just here. We already saw some resistance at this level. And just going further back on the chart, we saw some big support coming in at that exact level just back here. So once again, this blue line coming in at about 51.2k is a significant level for Bitcoin to get above. But the technical target for a falling wedge like this is actually the top of the wedge, which is currently coming in at the all-time high at about 58,000 US dollars. So yeah, those are all of my Bitcoin price targets, and I expect those sort of price targets and these sort of patterns to play out within the next few days and weeks. Now, as for the big Bitcoin news that I have to share for you guys, this is a chart over from the Glassnode website, and Glassnode essentially just does on-chain analysis. So basically, instead of looking at the price charts, which is technical analysis, this is looking at on-chain statistics such as buying and selling action and transaction data and things like that. And so that's why this is called on-chain analysis, and it's a different element to add to your total analysis for Bitcoin. And what you can actually see here is just in the background, that gray line, that's obviously the Bitcoin price. Now, as for the green and the red lines, that's actually the Bitcoin miners that are either hodling Bitcoin or selling Bitcoin. So back in December, as you can see back here on the chart, the Bitcoin miners were actually holding Bitcoin more than they were selling Bitcoin. So they were essentially accumulating Bitcoin, and that led a massive run up in the Bitcoin price because not as many miners were actually selling their Bitcoin. But as the price ended up running up to these massive high numbers throughout early January, as you can see, a lot of miners begun selling at those much higher prices. And if you look, this was actually a leading indicator. As the miners begun selling at the very beginning of January, the price was still heading up for a little while. And then as a lot more miners just begun selling and selling their new Bitcoin that has been mined up, that essentially just put the Bitcoin price into a 1-month correction, as you can see here on the charts. For most of January, we were in a correction from around $42,000 30,000 down to 29,000. And that was heavily due to the miners selling a lot of Bitcoin onto the market. And miners continued to sell throughout this recent run up that we've seen over the past few weeks. And during this correction, miners have picked up their selling once again, as you can see here. So this would have helped the Bitcoin price go lower than what would have normally happened. But as you can see just here, we've seen our first little green miner net position change on the chart, which basically means that the miners are now beginning to start just holding their Bitcoin rather than selling their Bitcoin. And this is really bullish news because once again, this acts as a leading indicator. And as you can see back here on the charts, when miners were just accumulating Bitcoin over the next few weeks, as you can see, the Bitcoin price just ended up soaring to the upside. And so yeah, that could be something that we could expect over the next few weeks. I would say during around the middle of March is when I would expect this correction to start bottoming out and start recovering to the upside. And honestly, towards the end of March, in around 1 month from now, that's when I would expect Bitcoin to get back up towards its all-time high, if not higher. And as you can see on the chart, we've seen bullish divergence after bullish divergence. We in fact got yet another bullish divergence, as you can see. I already mentioned this bullish divergence that formed on the chart days ago now, but what just happened as we got this recent low within the last few hours is obviously we saw a low just here, and now we've just seen a lower low, but in the RSI we saw a low and yet another higher low. So this is obviously another bullish divergence, and this is really good news because this basically shows us that the bears are losing steam. And this tying up with the fact that the miners are now stopping with their selling and now starting to just hold their Bitcoin strong. And if you look at just the general trend of this correction, we've begun this correction incredibly steep, and now we're kind of starting to just flatten out here as we're getting these bullish divergences. And once again, over the next few weeks, I would expect the Bitcoin price to begin its recovery. Yes, Bitcoin can head lower down to these lower support levels. I'm not saying that this is the exact bottom. It's always hard to time the exact bottom, but I'm saying that it is likely that within the next few weeks, once again, we're going to see a bottom for this correction and we're going to see a recovery sometime soon. And so I myself, I'm accumulating at these lower levels because you do not want to miss out on these lower levels when we start recovering. But yeah, that's just about all I have to say for Bitcoin at least. And yeah, it's up to you what you do with that information. It's up to you what you do with your money, but that's exactly what I'm doing with my money. All right, now heading over to the Ethereum US dollar chart. We're on the 2-hour chart for Ethereum. And I recorded my video just yesterday saying that Ethereum is obviously getting supported by this yellow line, but we're getting really close to breaking down. And I mentioned yesterday that Ethereum is forming a descending triangle pattern, which is a bearish pattern. Once again, I was talking about this just yesterday. And I said that obviously Ethereum is likely to break to the downside out of this pattern. And that's obviously exactly what's happened here on the chart. As you can see, as soon as we broke that yellow line of support, Ethereum immediately fell by about $120 to the downside. So yeah, we went from about 1430 all the way down to around 1300. And so far we have been getting a small bounce at this level just here. And now if Ethereum continues on this trend, I already mentioned in my last video that this price level just here is my next immediate price target for Ethereum. And this level is currently coming in at $1,250 per ETH. And if I just zoom out on the chart, as you can see, we're still on the 2-hour chart, by the way, but if I just bring out the Fibonacci retracement tool from that last major low that we had at just above $1,000, all the way up to the all-time high at about $2,050. As you can see, that yellow line of support was the 61.8% Fibonacci level, which was an incredibly important level for Ethereum to hold. And that's why I said as soon as Ethereum begins to break below that level, we will see some further downside action. And that's exactly what we've been seeing. And yeah, once again, I mentioned in my last video that this level just here, which by the way is the next Fibonacci level that's below the price. This is the 78.6% Fibonacci level, once again coming in at about $1,250. So yeah, I simply made that my next price target because that's the next most important Fibonacci level to the downside. And if you look just here, Ethereum got supported back in these regions just here and just here. And even further out, we also saw some big resistance at around these levels here and here. So this $1,250 level is an important level for Ethereum to hold above. But even though we saw a bearish breakdown for Ethereum, I'm still super bullish for Ethereum in the long term. Obviously, we're still in a bull market. This is just a short-term correction. And on some more bullish news, we are seeing a bullish divergence for Ethereum. As you can see here in the price, we saw a low and a lower low, but in the RSI, we saw a low and a higher low. So this is obviously a bullish divergence forming on the chart. But what this bullish divergence basically means is in the short term, we're going to stop heading to the downside and we're going to either be heading sideways or slightly to the upside. So that's what I'll be looking out for over the next 1 to 2 days. I would say I'll pretty much just be focusing on more sideways price action for Ethereum. And honestly, throughout this correction, I'm just accumulating so much more Ethereum for myself to hold for the long term. As of right now, I don't really have any immediate upside price targets. Obviously, this yellow line just here is now flipped as resistance because this was an incredibly important level of support for Ethereum, and now it's an incredibly important level of resistance for Ethereum. Once again, this level is coming in at around $1,430 US. So if the Ethereum price heads back up, that will be our immediate price target to the upside. And honestly, I'll be expecting Ethereum to reach up towards the $2,000 range once again towards the end of next month. But yeah, that's just about all I have to say for this video. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please make sure to just leave a like on the video down below. And also, if you're new to the channel, first of all, welcome to the channel, but make sure to subscribe to the channel with notifications on for more videos like this one. I try and pack these videos with as much valuable information as I possibly can to just try and help you make money in crypto. So if you could just spend a couple seconds to click like and subscribe and turn on notifications, once again, it helps out the channel so much, and I really appreciate all of your support on the channel recently. And yeah, if you have any feedback, questions, or suggestions for me, just let me know in a comment down below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I try and read and reply to every single one of my comments on these videos. So yeah, if you have anything to say whatsoever, just comment it down below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Just be careful because there can be some scammers down in the comment section. So if you see anyone down there with like a phone number, an email, WhatsApp, Telegram, anything like that, please do not contact anyone from the comment section and do not send anyone crypto that you do not know who they are. Just a word of warning, because yeah, I do try and delete those scammer comments as they come in, but they're always coming in and I'm not always online. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that warning in there for all of you. But yeah, that's just about all I have to say for this video. Once again, I really hope you all enjoyed and I'll see you all in the next video.